I owe you all an apology. For days now, I have been lying to myself, saying things like, I'm a good person. I've done a lot of good for the world. I lashed out at people. I responded to hatred with hatred. I apologize for not being of character. I've built this entire platform on inclusivity and kindness.
Yep, and since you built it on inclusivity and kindness, that comes with some serious shackles. This is the thing that I've always told you guys about, like a lot of these influencers. These guys can't afford to be themselves. They can't afford to be honest. They can't afford to show you guys their real side, because if they did, they lose money. They have to maintain this vanilla leftist or center-left political position. And this is why I would rather make $500 to $1 million a year and be myself than make $10 million a year and have to walk on eggshells. So let's go ahead and go with our first story here with this guy. So this is a dude right here. I think he was sponsored by Rise, okay? For those of you that don't know, Rise is a fitness supplement company, you know, that does supplements and gear and protein shakes and all that shit. And he put this video out, right? And it went really viral, but look, I'll just let it play for you guys. Oh, hold on.
Carrying a firearm that was holstered while he was filming, who is now being painted as a domestic terrorist because he took a gun to a protest. But all these 2A a couple years back were screaming Kyle Rittenhouse's name from the goddamn rooftops. Oh, that was different. Yeah, you're right. He had a rifle strapped to his chest. The man who...
Yeah, and he also put his hands up when the cops showed up. Not the same at all, buddy.
Who was shot and murdered by ICE was concealed carrying a firearm that he was legally allowed to have. I am now seeing reports that it's even possible that they disarmed him by taking his weapon out of his holster that was at his 6 o'clock, and then they mag dumped the guy. So if you are legally carrying a firearm and they take that off of your person and then utilize that as a justification to put rounds in your back while you were laying face down on the pavement, then it was never about following the law. The Second Amendment doesn't matter anymore. And your...
This is like typical performative, progressive theatrics. You know what I mean? The manufactured outrage, the, you know, us versus them mentality, these guys, you know, aren't as progressive as us and they're bigot. Like, you know what I mean? This is like this classic progressive theatrics right here, right? And the reason why it hits a little bit more is because at first glance, right, you would think this guy's a conservative, but he's not. So for him, he's almost got to sell it a little bit more. And progressives love this, by the way. Just so you guys know, progressives love dudes that look like him, that have that conservative look, but they're actually progressive. So he's absolutely been able to build a pretty big audience off of that. And he's also within a niche that is fairly neutral, which is the fitness industry. And, you know, normally these fitness guys don't get into politics because it's an extremely divisive topic. But with this Alex Pretty situation, I would argue the Alex Pretty situation, if you were to poll people in America, I would argue most people are like anti-ICE and don't like what happened to Alex Pretty. So he's just kind of going where the wind is taking him in this case, right? Especially since he's trying to, you know, cater more to his left-wing base.
So where's all the don't tread on me, two-way, gun-toting, boot-licking? Or is it just when it's not on your side? So I'm done playing the middle ground. I'm done making first.
And this is a common argument that progressives make. They try to compare like Kyle Rittenhouse to like Alex Pretty. And it's like the facts and circumstances are not analogous in any way whatsoever, okay? Like cops have a bit more leeway when it comes to use of force because they don't have a duty to retreat, okay? Versus as a private civilian, you do have a duty to retreat in a lot of these states, especially Minnesota, by the way. So whenever people compare like Kyle Rittenhouse to this shooting, it's comical. And then on top of that, if you do want to go with that comparison, what did Kyle Rittenhouse, after he shot the dudes, what did he do? He tried to find a police officer and he put his hands up like this. Right? How is it that an 18-year-old kid has more awareness to make his hands visible while armed and not resisting the police than a ICU nurse that's like double his age? Alex Pretty was like 37, guys, with a CCW. There's no excuse for that.
First aid videos that just might help, that can be seen by both sides. So Trump, ICE, we are not mad enough. Yeah. Political.
So
that was murder.
So what ended up happening, guys, that video got a lot of views, right? And basically, to save you guys a headache, someone left a comment under one of his videos, right? And he ended up doxing the guy, gave his address, how much he pays on HOA, all this shit. Doxed out the dude, right? And Rise basically dropped him. Okay, let me see if I can find what he said here. Here we go. So they issued this statement, right? Because this guy, Scotty, or whatever, it goes here. Please see our official statement and rise. We hold ourselves to the highest standards, not only internally, but with our affiliates. We value the community we have built more than anything. And it goes here, effective immediately, rise no longer affiliated with or represented by the individual involved in recent controversies. The niggas didn't even want to say his name. We are aware of comments made by this prior affiliate that were hurtful and inappropriate towards individuals with physical and mental disabilities. These views do not reflect our company's values, and we do not support or condone language or behavior that is discriminatory, harmful, or dismissive of any community. We take this matter seriously and have taken immediate steps to address the situation directly with the individual involved. We are also reviewing our affiliate partnerships and internal process to ensure our standard of respect, inclusivity, and accountability are upheld. Okay? To our committee, we hear your concerns. We appreciate you holding us to a high standard, and we are committed to doing better. So basically, this right here is what he said that I guess got them pissed off. He goes, found you, Cody Fox of Indiana, paralyzed from the chest down with a failed YouTube and an obsession with four-wheelers and motocross. I wonder how you sustained a spinal cord injury. Drifting in the snow looked fun, though, right? So they made fun of this guy that talked shit to him, right? I think the guy, called him, so the person he's talking to commented on one of his, Instagram posts saying that he looks like one of the characters from Ozark. You guys remember that, Netflix show? He said he looks like one of those characters. And I guess this dude, Scotty, got pissed off and doxed the guy. And then when the guy responded, he made fun of him for being paralyzed. And this led to Rise, it went viral. Rise ended up dropping him. And then he made this video.
I owe you all an apology. For days now, I have been lying to myself, saying things like, I'm a good person. I've done a lot of good for the world. It's all bullshit deflection to keep me from taking responsibility for my own actions. I've built this entire platform on inclusivity and kindness.
Yep. And since you built it on inclusivity and kindness, that comes with some serious shackles. I'll touch on this a little bit more, but let's see what else he's got to say.
And I lost sight of that in my own ego. I lashed out at people. I responded to hatred with hatred. So I apologize for not being of character. The character that I promised you I all had. I hope that I hope that you can accept that. And if not, I understand. If you don't want to support me anymore, I understand. I hope that one day I can regain your trust soon. But for right now, I have to focus on the safety of my family. So I'll be back. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. So why am I showing you guys this? I'm showing you guys this because I really want to bring to attention something a lot of people don't know, right? When it comes to podcasters, influencers, social media personalities, etc. And what you guys need to understand is that most social media influencers are scared of their own shadows, right? What do I mean by this? They bend and fold immediately. They bend the knee to the woke mob. They don't stand on nothing. They avoid certain topics. And for them, the number one goal is to make as much money as possible. Don't believe anything that these losers tell you when they say, I'm here to help people. Like, that is a part of it, of course. But if they had to do something that was like, how do I say this? If they had to make a comment that wasn't politically correct for the betterment of someone else, they wouldn't do that, right? They won't do that. I'll give you guys an example. Someone who's like a normie creator, right, will say something like, go to the gym, exercise, blah, blah, whatever, right? Do this, X, Y, Z. But let's say a fan says, hey, bro, my wife is abusing me. I'm thinking about divorcing, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. They're not going to dispense the advice that guy needs to hear at that time. Does that make sense, chat? For fear of being offensive or coming off as misogynistic. So in other words, their advice, their content stops at the potential to offend others. Okay? So in other words, the advice, the content, the way they make things out or anything that they put out, that is limited by how offensive is it. Okay? Now, this is a big reason, actually, why I don't make fitness content anymore, which you guys are witnessing right now. Number one, the fitness industry is dead, right? It's a dead niche, right, on YouTube. It used to be huge 10 years ago during the Gymshark era, Z's, Chesbra, Joseph Rakic, Matt Ogus, all these guys. Like 10 years ago, it was huge. Chris Jones. But nowadays, it's a dead genre. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a complete dead genre. That's why if you look at all the biggest fitness influencers now, they've all like expanded beyond workout vlogs and day of eating to like doing other things, vlogging, doing challenges, collaborating with other people, showing lifestyle. Like, it's no longer acceptable to just be a fitness influencer, right? And one of the things I really disliked about the fitness industry when I was in it was people are terrified of their own shadow. Their ability to tell the truth is completely contingent upon whether they're going to get backlash or not. And that's just not how I wanted to do things, right? So this situation with this guy, Scotty K Fitness, as I was kind of going through it last night, it brought so many memories of like fitness influencers I've dealt with before, etc. All these are fake off camera. You can see here, this is like a super rehearsed bullshit apology, right? He obviously went way out of his way to find out who this guy was and dox him. It's like, bruh, just stand on what you said. Just stand on what you said. Like, if the guy was talking shit to you and you roast him, like, oh wow, like, honestly, quite frankly, if you're going to go ahead and talk shit on people's posts, like, don't get mad when niggas come back and roast you. But this is the thing that I've always told you guys about, like, a lot of these influencers. These guys can't afford to be themselves. They can't afford to be honest. They can't afford to show you guys their real side. Because if they did, they lose money. They have to maintain this vanilla leftist or center-left political position. And if they are conservatives, they make sure to never put that shit on camera because it hurts the money. And this is why, like, I really pride myself, guys, on... I would rather make $500 to $1 million a year. I'd rather do that and be myself than make $10 million a year and have to walk on eggshells or have to be terrified of everything I say publicly or have to hire a PR team to always make sure that I'm not like doing some. I would rather get less and have freedom than get more, but have my viewpoints and my opinions censored. And unfortunately, most influencers are not going to take the latter like I do. Most people treat it 100% like a business. I'm here to make money and be profitable. That's it. I don't give a about nothing else. Whether I have to put on a persona to do it or I have to bite my tongue on certain topics, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not saying this for you guys to like appreciate me more. I'm not saying it for that. But what I am saying is there's not many real niggas left is what I'm really trying to say here. Going down the road of being honest on hot button topics it is not an intelligent financial endeavor. I'll just tell you guys that. I've lost millions of dollars. People are terrified to interview me. People are terrified to collab with me. I can't tell you guys how many times I get DMs from really famous people that say, bro, we f***ed your content, we love you. But they have to support from afar. And I do take a great pride in that, guys, because I've said this before and I'm going to say this again because I know we got a lot of new people here that might not be familiar with my content. Maybe you found me through a short, you found me through a clip and you're kind of tuning in for the first time. So let me say this. One of the things that I truly am grateful for, and it's one of the biggest compliments you can actually give me. Whenever I meet people in person, whether I'm on a college campus somewhere, or I'm out and about walking Frank, or I'm doing a debate table or some shit like that out in Miami somewhere, right? One of the biggest things that people tell me that I truly do cherish and it means a lot to me is people say this, Myron, you're the same guy on and off camera, holy shit. And that, right, is as small as that sounds and like it sounds like insignificant for like a podcaster, for an influencer, that means a lot, guys. Okay? Because most podcaster influencers, whatever you want to call them, do everything in their power so you don't know how they really are. Okay? For fear of, walking on eggshells and losing money. So whenever I meet people and they tell me, yo, you're the same guy on and off camera, that's the best compliment I can get. You're not watching Myron Gaines, guys. You guys are watching Hammer Fuddle. That's what you guys are watching, right? Myron Gaines is simply a stage name that I've had since 2018, 2019, when I started my fitness business, and just the name stuck. I never changed my government name. I've explained this a million times too. For all the idiots that say, Myron, you changed your name. I never legally changed my name. It's because I had a top secret clearance. It was doing national security cases when I started my business. So it would be stupid for me to use my real government name while doing social media. And it ended up where I resigned from the government and the name stuck. That's the explanation. But I take great pride in making my content, people coming up to me and saying, you're the same guy on and off camera. That means a lot. And very few famous people can say that. Now, this authenticity has cost me millions of dollars, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. It's why we've built a strong community of like-minded individuals that are unapologetically real and honest about taboo topics all across the world. We question certain narratives, whether it's World War II or who really runs America. And we have a very against-the-grain type of approach. We're not politically correct. We're not sensitive. We don't care if we offend people, and we're proud of it. And this is precisely why you guys are never going to see me apologizing to the woke mob like this for getting dropped from a supplement company. I would rather be 100% independent and take less so I can say what I want to say versus having to walk on eggshells with everything that you do. And this is the norm in the fitness industry, guys. They're all like this. I mean, look, think about it. Remember when Kenny KO asked Asar Safari about like Palestine and Israel? And she answered the question and then like she didn't realize what it was about and then she like freaked out and said, oh no, I support Palestine. But like, you know, she didn't say that at that point. She said it only after she got the backlash. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on this because it's kind of funny. You know, and look, I don't know this guy. Obviously he's a veteran, right? He served their country. So I'm going to give him that credit. But this is what happens when you build an audience off of snowflake lefties, dude. Like, you know, easy come, easy go with these, right? You say one thing that's offensive and these niggas are out of the door. You say one slur, they're out of the door. You know, you make one joke, they're out of the door. You know, these are like niggas on the left a lot of times. You know, even like, I don't know if you guys have like seen Hassan. Hassan constantly gets into fights with his chat, by the way, guys. Constantly. Like they get mad at him when he says like what? But this is the progressive mindset. Offended by everything, stand for nothing. It's really what it comes down to. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you for allowing me the privilege, guys, to be able to be myself and supporting me in the process. And, you know, that's allowed me to never have to sell out, which is a blessing in disguise that most influencers will never get to experience, right? It's already hard enough to become a big social media personality. It's even harder to be a big social media personality while having extremely controversial takes. So like I'm the 1% of the 1%. And the only reason why I'm able to do that is because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for that. Anyway, carrying on to the next story here.